Audit is audit. Whether you're in Johannesburg or whether you are in London, audit is audit. Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Kosi and I hope you stay a while. I hope you like it, and if you do, please remember to like and subscribe. You know the vibe. So yeah, I am here to talk about my very slight career shift, call it that. I was overthinking the whole thing about whether or not I want to share this, but I don't really have a niche for this channel. I don't know what this channel is about other than just sharing my own experience. And so it's really just going to be me sharing my story, because that's what this channel is about. And just sharing some perspectives that I've had over the last couple of months. And yeah, I'll go back to just, moving over from Johannesburg, South Africa. It's been 2.5 years. I can't believe how time has flown by, but I think, I'll go back to how I felt back then versus now, and then just basically tell you the story of how I got to where I got to. So when I moved to the UK in 2020, I think I was on the fence. If I'm very, very honest, I think I was on the fence. Having been an academic trainee at UJ, I knew that I really, really enjoyed academia. I still do. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy imparting knowledge. I enjoy speaking to people on a day-to-day basis. I enjoy the fact that someone's face can light up because they now understand something that they were previously struggling with. And so I was on the fence between teaching, auditing, and actually doing the actual auditing. And I thought, okay, let's move to the UK, let's get the audit experience, it's good on the CV. So that was my thinking, and because I was still on the fence, I didn't quite mind the hectic hours, because like I said, I loved it. I taught auditing, and to be able to put it into practice was great. And so I kind of went about it, didn't have complaints. It was a new environment, and again, audit is audit. Whether you're in Johannesburg or whether you are in London, audit is audit. So I knew that from the start, and I knew, okay, this is what we're doing. This is the plan. This is what you're going to expect. So I didn't have crazy expectations. I knew what I was going into. But I also think, having moved over in a COVID environment and just the dynamic of, working from home in a new country and, auditing from home, kind of changed how I felt about audit. And another thing was that it was starting to become a time thief. So in any other context, in any other setting where if I was still at home, I don't think I would have felt it that much. But because I'm in a new city and I want to travel and I want to explore and I have other interests outside of work, it felt like it was becoming a time thief, in the sense that I felt like any other time where I'm not auditing, I had to just rest, because the hours were really, really that long and the deadlines were always hectic, and it just felt like I didn't have enough downtime. And if I did, it just felt like stolen time where I just needed to, rest, do errands and things like that. So, this is all my perspective, and this is just how my thinking started to shift. And I thought, okay, Kosi, if you want to do all these things, you really, what I've also learned about myself is that I'm quite multi-passionate. Some people call it neurodiverse, I don't know, all these fancy words, but what it comes down to is that I enjoy a lot of things. I am very creative, but I'm also very sporty, but I'm also, quite academic, and those things are always conflicting in my mind. And I always felt like this time when I was in London, I didn't have the capacity to explore all the other areas and travel and have my other passions. So it just got too much, and I started to think, okay, Kosi, it doesn't look like audit gets better from a time perspective. It doesn't look like the higher you go up the ranks, the more time you'll have. So when I closed my eyes and I started to think about the future, I started to not want to be a partner or to climb that corporate ladder. So then I thought to myself, okay, if you don't see yourself climbing up that ladder, then why are you on that ladder? It's time to change the ladder. You know what I mean? Anyone that's moved over, like expats, will tell you that, you know, audit is your golden key, you know, moving over. It's the easiest way to move to the UK. But at the same time, it's not the only way. It is just the easiest, and making the career shift sometimes can be difficult, but it's not impossible. So for me, having to, sorry about the dog barking, I had to think about what it meant to make that career shift, because like I said, if I moved, you know, to a different firm, I don't think I would have, you know, been able to get the same sort of balance back. And so I really wanted to come back into alignment, and the only thing that made sense for me was that if I was feeling a bit disillusioned about audits and I just felt like, okay, as much as I like what I'm doing, it's really draining me. You know, I'm not myself. I'm always busy. I don't have capacity for friends and family, and if I do, it's just an exhausted version of myself, you know. So, and I obviously wasn't able to tap into my creative passions. So I really wanted to go back to the other element, which was obviously teaching, or, you know, or advisory of some sort. And so I then, you know, started to make inquiries about hopefully transferring internally, which was a long process. And anybody that has transferred internally within a firm can tell you that it's very challenging, because there's always a tug of war between divisions, and it's very well known that the audit profession is very understaffed because there's a quick turnover, but also that there is a tug of war between the divisions, and nobody's trying to let go. Nobody's trying to, you know, back down. So it was challenging. I think it took probably around 6 months for it to finally happen, and for it to finally be like, okay, you know, this is happening. So yeah, it did take a while to transfer internally, and it was, I would say, the last couple of months, like these last couple of months, have been really challenging for me. And I'm really grateful to God, because we wrestled. If I look at my journal and the things that I was writing down, like, I was a really frustrated hun, because I was like, I love this city, I don't want to leave London quite yet, but I'm really starting to get frustrated with my career, and I'm just not getting fulfilled from it. And I don't want to be that person that wakes up and is already dreading the day. Like, that's not me. That's not how I want to live my life. And in these last couple of months when I was in audit, I was like, whoa, you know, I can't keep counting down the days until it's the weekend, until it's this, and always just feeling like, oh, I need a break. I'm going to, you know, I'm living for the weekend per se. So I'm really grateful that this is finally happening, because it's challenging. Like, living abroad isn't easy already. Like, living in a different country is not easy. And on top of that, if you're starting to feel frustrated with your career and your job, it makes it even worse. You know, I remember I was even speaking to my mom, and she was like, "Mtanam, asiglasang, mawuhlulekile, buyele ekhaya." And that means, my child, we haven't thrown you away. Please come back home if things are getting too tough for you to handle, you know? So it was really quite frustrating, where I was like, you know, maybe I should come back. Maybe I should just, you know, but eventually the career move happened. So I am part of the training team for, you know, newly qualified graduates or early in careers. It's sort of like some companies call it learning and development. So basically, you know, this is where I feel like I'm back in alignment. You know, I am teaching, you know, audit and accounting methodology, and I love it because it's reminding me about my academic. It's reminding me of my academic trainee days, and I feel like it's come full circle. Without making this video, you know, doom and gloom, I think it's important to say, like, you're allowed to enjoy something until you stop enjoying it, and you're allowed to change your mind about something, especially when it turns out to not be what you thought it would be, you know. So yeah, I'm just taking it one day at a time now, and I'm not really rushing myself to, you know, be an expert. I'm just embracing the season that I'm in. More than anything, just grateful, because we take it for granted. Like, our parents, our grandparents have prayed numerous prayers for us to be able to, you know, get the opportunities that we have. So more than anything, just filled with gratitude, just trying to respect the season, embrace the season, but also knowing that I wouldn't have been able to sit here and have this conversation if I didn't earn my stripes in audits, you know. I wouldn't have been able to make a shift without having first, you know, have a foot in the door and be able to establish a rapport with people within the business where you are actually credible, you know, and your work speaks for itself. So everything comes together in the end. There's no such thing as wasted time. I believe, that's my personal philosophy, that there's no such thing as wasted time or wasted efforts. And sometimes we're so hard on ourselves because we have these timelines, and it's all self-imposed, because really, you know, time isn't a factor. It's just creating a mental barrier. So, you know, if any of this resonated with you, or if you're feeling stuck from a career perspective, I would say, you know, you don't have to feel like there's no way out, or there's no way to move, or there's no options for you. I think sometimes we box ourselves in, or we just think that there isn't a way, but there is. If you want something, it means it exists. And if you don't feel like you're in alignment, then you need to ask yourself the difficult questions. You know, what are you doing to get back into a state of alignment career-wise, you know? And if you thought you wanted something and then you've changed your mind about it, that's also fine. Or it didn't turn out to be what you wanted to be, that's called life, you know. So by all means, give yourself permission, give yourself grace to just, you know, shift, be malleable, and yeah, I think just keep following your curiosity. So that's me, that's where I'm at, that's my little ramble of the day. I hope that it gave someone perspective, but more than anything, it was just a life update about what's happening. So yeah, no longer in audits. Happy to be in the world of advisory. Lots to learn. The learning curve is really, really steep, but looking forward to it. I'm also just like, okay, look, I'm going to be a rookie right now. It's fine, I'll be a rookie, and I will just take it one day at a time. So anyway, that is all. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Thank you for watching and subscribing. I think we're close to 1,500, which is wild, because I'm always saying I'm not consistent, and I don't even know why you guys are on here, but yeah, exciting times ahead. That is all. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Mwah.